everybody in the world is a potential client for you. If I'm a chiropractor, everybody in the world is a potential client for me. If I'm a business consultant, everybody in the world is a potential client for me. If I do HVAC, everybody who owns a home is a client for me. Okay, that's bad, by the way, because you're not marketing yourself effectively. So what you want to be doing is you want to start looking at the vertical markets that you could be going after, and the ones that may be easier sales, the ones that be more profitable sales, the ones that you haven't tapped into yet, the ones that you have tapped into but you haven't really penetrated and gone deep into. Think about those vertical markets that you could go into. So if your business to business is a vertical market, the medical industry. When I say the medical industry, then you could go different verticals in medical. You could go dentist office, chiropractor's office, podiatrists, cardiologists, whatever it might be, right? And then you can do the same thing with all different types of businesses. If you go B2C, business to consumer, then you can be looking at, okay, well, what are the verticals I'm looking at there? Is it parents of kids that of a certain age? Is it people of a certain income? Is it they live in a certain area? Is it that they're at a certain point in their life? What are the vertical markets that you're looking for? And the reason that's important is now you can focus your marketing and sales strategy to each of those markets versus putting one big marketing out there that's kind of like to everybody, asking them to buy from you, which by the way is not very effective. If you pick out 5 or 6 verticals and develop a different marketing strategy for each of them, because each of them have a different emotional reason they're going to buy from you, and if you customize your marketing to them, you'll get much better results. And as you penetrate that market, more people in that market will give you referrals to other people like them, and all of a sudden you become a specialist in that particular marketing area. Okay, that's what you're looking for, is how can I get that? And now I penetrated this market, and now all of a sudden it can go from just a local geographic market in terms of that specialty, depending on your business, all of a sudden it can go regional, right? National, international, because you have a certain specialty. Again, it depends on your business. You may not do international business, okay? Next one, comfort change process for prospect. So here's what I mean by that. We're talking about acquiring business from a prospect, from somebody they've already worked with. That is not a comfortable change for people. A lot of times your prospects have the devil known is better than the devil unknown mentality. Meaning, why would I don't want to take that risk, go to somebody else, even though Frank, he's always been there for us, always worked hard. He may be a little more expensive, but he's always done a great job with us. I don't know, even though that person's less expensive, I don't know if I want to take that risk, right? And that's great if you're that person, right? But it's not good if you're the person trying to acquire the new business. So what's the comfortable change process for the prospect? You have to make it as easy for them as possible to feel comfortable in coming over to you. So that may be different types of offers, things you need to put in place to make them feel extremely comfortable. Now, obviously I can't get into specifics here because it depends on your business, but that's what you have to look at is, okay, if I go to them, what are the objections they'll usually give me? And of those objections, how can we overcome them? What are offers that we can do or things that we can do that help solve the problem of that objection of comfort change of going from one to the other? So if you can think about that ahead of time, it means you're getting into the head of your prospect. And when you get into the head of your prospect, you're starting to understand how they think and you can market to them more effectively. Okay? Next one, collaborative growth opportunities, referral partner relationships. I cannot emphasize how important this is right now, especially if you're a BNI member sitting on this, listening to this right now. The number one thing you need to focus on in the next 90 days is getting referral partnerships, strategic alliance partners, referral sources. Start having people in your chapter not try and give you business transactions if that's not going to be real for you, but give you relationships with people. Because the people you love to have a relationship with probably would like to have that relationship with you right now because they're insecure about their business. And you're not even asking them to do business or spend money with you. You're asking to have a mutually beneficial referral relationship with them. So if we can make that happen, if you could get 5 or 8 or 10 new relationships set in the next 90 days, then we come out of the other side of what's called this V recession, then your back end V could be very sharp versus very dull. What I mean, it goes more straight up versus extend out. And it means you can recover because now all of a sudden, besides, let's say you kept the majority of the business that you had already, now you have X number of new clients that you can get more business out of. You can establish those now in the next 90 days. Don't sit there and say, well, nobody's buying. No, don't ask them to buy. Ask them to have a relationship, a referral relationship. And if you can do that, now you're getting set. And it's not like you have a one-time phone call and say, I'll have a referral partnership with you. And the person says, okay, great. Okay, good. Talk to you in 3 months. No, no, no. Now you're going to talk to them almost weekly. The two of you are going to come up with a strategy of how you can work together. You're going to talk on a regular basis and really develop that relationship, both in terms of character and competency, trust and confidence, as well as the strategies of how you're going to work together. If you can do that, that person feels very comfortable. And when you come out the other end, now all of a sudden you've got that person delivering for you and you possibly delivering for them. Strategic alliance partners, basically the same type of thing. What are those companies you want to have a strategic alliance with in terms of that? Now, these may be people that you can't refer to but could refer to you, but you want to be there as a resource for them to help them out and make them look good to their clients. Co-branding partners. These may be people, so let me give you an example. Let's say I own a fence company, and I know a guy that does landscaping, and I know a guy that does hardscaping, and I know a guy that does pool installation, and I know somebody that does. So all of a sudden, the four of us could say, you know what we could do? Why don't we market our services as that we can come in and we can install a pool and do all the work around it, or we can make your backyard into a magical utopia. So now all of a sudden they're co-branding. They're all working together, maybe even putting together their own brochure. Even though they're still all separate businesses, they're marketing themselves together. All right. And if you're in BNI, this is really easy for you to do. If you don't have those people in your chapter, then in the next 90 days, I would focus on get those people like your power team members in your chapter and see if you can start to come up with ways to co-brand yourself to the community to go out and do that. If you're not BNI, you can try the same thing. I don't know how much easier it'll be, but you can try it. Okay. But by doing that, starting to co-brand yourself makes a big difference. And we've seen that happen already, but use that strategy now to really co-brand yourself in terms of your marketing, share the cost, share the ideas, and share your networks with each other. And then network introductions and expansion. So this is really just me introducing you to somebody in my network because I think you're a great guy, they're a great guy or gal. I want two of you to get together because we're all good friends, and I think it'd be great for you to get together, or right now virtually get together, right? But the more I can help you expand your network, you never know where that's going to go. Even if it's not a referral relationship, even if it's not a strategic alliance partner, it's just two good people. You put two good people together, you never know what's going to come out of that. Even if it's somebody you've known for years and you don't see how they can work together, don't worry about what you see. They're going to figure it out, okay, if there's anything there. Because they're going to end up having different conversations with, let's say, your friend of 15 years than you have, because you know that person in a particular way. This other person comes in and they're going to talk about life in a different way. They may have different interests, they may have different, professions that relate, whatever it might be. Network introductions and expansion, really important. So those are collaborative growth opportunities that are extremely important going forward, okay? So everything we're talking about here is really on how you strategically run your business, okay? So I want you to look at this. Business owners, they know their business, they know their products or services, they know who purchases from them. They knows their cycles and knows their basic numbers. Okay, most business owners know this stuff. Let's talk about if you're a CEO of your business versus a business owner. If you're a CEO, you know the business of the business. That means you understand marketing, sales, customer service, management, leadership, teamwork development, strategic planning, all those different things that allow you to be forward thinking in a business. You understand strategy, how to strategize your business for growth in the next 3, 6, 9 months, and 5 years. What's the strategy you're putting in place to make that happen so you're not just reacting to things all the time? They plan ahead. CEOs plan ahead for the best and the worst. If things go really well, this is what we're going to do. If we have these problems that come up, okay, how are we going to get around that? So you think through what the problems are ahead of time, so hopefully you're never that surprised. What's happening right now with all of us, I have to say, and I've shared with a lot of you before, that Graham Weimiller, who's the current CEO of BNI, I think did an incredibly powerful thing in his forward thinking. When this first started in China, he saw what might happen and got BNI Online up and running as quickly as possible so we could all continue forward with virtually no downtime. Okay, that was an incredibly smart thing to do, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I would have had that forward thinking. That's a true CEO thinking ahead of problems that you could never have expected. Nobody would have ever planned like, hey, what if a pandemic comes across the world? Nobody thought of that, but he was able to think ahead. So we got to think of things like that. Okay, number 4, know the whys. Why do things happen in your business? Don't just react to them. Something happens, then sit down and say, why is this happening? Okay, why are we being more successful? Why are we making more sales? Why did our sales go down? Why did we lose clients? Know the whys behind everything, and it allows you to make better strategic decisions going forward. Develop alternative plans beforehand, right? And that goes back to plan ahead for best and worst. Develop those alternative plans. So we have those kind of in the file. Someone comes up and say, okay, pull the file out. Here's what we're going to do, because we've got some great plans ahead of time. So you need alternative plans for your sales, for your marketing, for your customer service, for acquiring business, whatever it might be. Always look around the corner. When your business is doing really well, it really has only one place to go, right? Something's going to happen that it's not going to be doing as well in the near future. Now, near future could be 6 months, a year, or 3 years. I don't know, but always things change. Everything goes in cycles. So always be looking around the corner of what's going on. And part of that means just be aware of what's in the news, new technologies coming out, things that are happening, new competitors, what's happening in the place. You got to see what's happening in the marketplace overall that may have nothing to do with your business directly right now, but you can say, you know what, if A, then B. Because if that's what's happening, then this could happen, and this is how it could affect me. So it allows you to start to think ahead. See business as chess. And all I mean by that is when you see business chess, see it as a strategic move. Know what your move is, but always be thinking, what's the next 2 moves the competitor will be doing? Okay, don't obsess with it, but always know. And the competitor, by the way, I don't mean just your competitors. I mean the marketplace. What's happening, and everything we've talked about is what else could be happening out there, and kind of goes back to what I just about always look around the corner. Know their competitors. Look, I'm a big believer in not to obsess over your competitors, because they offer something doesn't mean you have to offer it, but to know what they're doing is very important, right? You always have to do that, because I've known people that they keep business owners that focus on making their business decisions are based on what the competitors are doing. And what that really means is that you're being adversely affected in your decisions by your competitors, and they're not even trying to do that to you. That's not a smart thing to do. Okay, know what your competitors are doing, but go to number 9 here, focus on being their best and focus on the company being its best. If you want your business to be successful as the CEO of your business, focus on being your best. That means developing yourself all the time, that you're reading, you're educating, you're making yourself better. Know the business of the business and focus on the company being its best. If your company's doing well and where it's at and you're thinking like, hey, we're good right now, let's keep everything the same, then you're in trouble. Should never stay the same. Always, always, always focus on getting better in what you need to do, okay? And final thing is my little quote for the day: tough times go away, tough people do not. And they say that Walter Payton says this. However, I have to say, I saw this quote like 4 different times. They said 4 different people say it. So I don't know if Walter Payton actually said it, but I love the saying. Tough times go away, tough people do not. We're going to make it through this. It's going to be fine. And if we can think ahead enough of what we really want to accomplish, we can come out on the other end stronger than anybody else, and by being strategic. So don't let this affect you, depress you, hurt you, and make you do nothing. Don't get entrepreneurial paralysis, right? Get focused on what can I do to take advantage of this situation so I can come out on the other end even stronger than going into it. I mean, think about it. Imagine if you could, as I talked about building those relationships, imagine that you had 5 or 8 or 10 new client relationships before you even started doing business again in 90 days. That means you're going to come out on the other end theoretically stronger than you went into this. Now, it may take you 6 months to get back there, but now you've got new clients you didn't have before. This is the type of thinking that we have to do, okay? So I've been rambling on now for about 42.5 minutes. I told you I'd go 40. So I want to kind of answer any questions that you have. So if you have questions, please put it on the side there in caps. I will go through them and see what I can read and what I can answer for you. Okay? So go right ahead. And don't tell me you have no questions. There's no way that was the perfect presentation. Okay? Let's see. What can I see? What can I see here? I'm not seeing any questions as of now. Okay, let me continue. Maybe I'm just not far enough down. Hold on, let me check. Was this recorded? Yeah, all of Facebook Lives are automatically recorded. In fact, I think within like 15 minutes or a half hour after this, it automatically gets posted on my site. And then what I can actually do is I can take it off of there and put it on my YouTube channel, which we'll probably do as well. So yes, it'll be available and you can find it here and you can share it wherever you want. You're more than welcome to do that. Okay. Could I share my PowerPoint? Absolutely, I can. I absolutely can share that. In fact, you know what, guys? Do me a favor and email me at frank@bnihv.com. frank@bnihv for HudsonValley.com, and just say Facebook Live PowerPoint, and I'll send it over to you. Especially if you're a BNI director, I think there's some great information here. And don't think you have to do this whole presentation if you're a BNI director. I would take pieces of it out and kind of work those little pieces in terms of it. So, you know, you really get focused on that type of thing. Bring it back to your team, especially executives. Bring it back to your team, and you work together on taking pieces of this out and seeing how you can use it. Okay, how do we get the people who are discouraged, this is from Nicole, are discouraged thinking about these things? Those who are out of a job and are in several jobs. Well, you know, it's a great question, Nicole. And the reality is we know they're in a tough place. So the question is, okay, so I know you're in a tough place. I know you're out of a job right now. So are you putting anything in place that when we come out of this in 90 days that you're going to be in someplace better? Okay, well, and especially if they're in BNI, do not let them leave. Pull them back in. Again, no member left behind. And say to them, look, let's work on strategies that can help you. I mean, if they're out of work, if they were let go, right, it's a matter of probably their employer wants to bring them back in. Or if they're not going to be brought back in, then this says, okay, look, what is it that you would really, now that you're not in that job, what is it you'd really like to do? What is it that you'd really like to focus on? If you're going to try and go get another job, what would be your dream job? Let us help you get that position. So if it's, again, a BNI member or just a friend in general, see how we can work our networks for those people and get them where they wanted to. I don't know if I ever shared this story with everybody, but a good friend of mine, this is a true story, I'm going back 20-something years ago. He worked for an ad agency in New York City, and he, worked had a bank as a client, and made good money as an account rep, and just told me he hated the job, hated it. And I was like, well, if you could do anything, forget about money. He's about 45 years old at the time. Forget about money, anything else. If you could do anything, what would you do? He goes, I'd be a professional baseball player. I was like, great. Why don't you do that? He's like, what do you mean, why don't I do that, Frank? Because I'm 45 years old. I was never that good. I can't be a professional baseball player. I said, no, I'm not saying be a professional baseball. Why don't you work in Major League Baseball? And he's like, what do you mean? And so we started talking about it and saying, who do we know? Who might we know? We get somewhere. And we're working for like a month, seeing if we knew somebody that could get him into like the Yankees or the Mets because he lives around here. And we couldn't find that. So I said, here's what I would do. Go get a job down at the stadium doing whatever you can do. I don't care if it's selling beer and hot dogs. Get involved in the network, and you never know where that can go because you'll be noticed. So he did. He went down to Yankee Stadium. He got a job as one of the what do you call those guys? The harkers or something like that, the vendors. He goes around selling beer here, get your hot dog, that type of stuff. So he's doing that. And after he's there like a couple of weeks, the guy who was his boss pulled him aside and said, what are you doing here? And he's like, what do you mean? He's just like, well, you can see that you're a little different than everybody else here. Like, why are you here? This is not the, well, I really want to get in. I have the advertising background. I love to get into marketing. He goes, okay. He goes, I know somebody. And the guy walks him inside to the main office of the Yankees and says to the receptionist there, look, this guy's working for us. He doesn't work for us. He needs to work for you guys. You need to have him talk to somebody. That's like all he said. And he went through an interview process. Guess what ended up happening within a year? He ended up working in Major League Baseball, right? So he had a job he didn't want. He wanted to go into something else, and he got focused on that. And he put himself in the environment. He put himself what we call in play. He got a new network, and he got the job. See if you can help your friend do that. That's what my suggestion would be, okay? I know I missed a couple other questions there. Let me go back quick. What kind of advice? Okay. Finances. Carolyn suggesting to call the clients. What is your suggestion to call the clients? Sometimes they don't want to talk. Is there a speech that start this phone call? Yeah. Hey, I just want to call and see how you're doing. I just want to call and see. That's all the reason I'm calling. Just to call and see how you're doing. How's everything going? I know things are tough right now. Just want to see how you're doing. Is there anything I can help with? I'm not even talking about business right now. I'm just talking in general. Is everything okay? Anything I can help you with? That's it. Show that you care, right? The old saying is, once they know how much you care, then they care how much you know. Don't call about business. Don't call about selling them something new. Don't call about them. Show that you care about them. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Is there anything I can do to help you or your family right now? You have a network behind you. Make use of that network, because probably anything they need, you have a contact for. And if you don't have a contact for it, contact me, because I probably have a contact for it. I'll find it for you, okay? Thank you, Caroline, for that. Let's go a little more. Let's see, replying to Maria. You're welcome, James Jeffries. Thank you for the comment. Okay. Well, to your friend, talk to my friend, Merritt Meyer at the fair. Okay. Did I hear you recommend offering packages to customers this is from Amy McTeer. Did I hear you recommend offering packages to customers at a discounted rate now at a great deal for when we get started up again? How can we give them a confidence, reassurance, receipt of some kind that we will be back in business, won't disappear due to financial hardship? Does my question make sense? Yeah, your question makes very good sense. I think, again, right now, the conversation is just about talking to them going forward. But if you can line up certain clients or new business coming in right now, and again, you're welcome to kind of share with them where your business is at and saying like, yeah, things are tough here too, and this is what we want to do, and let them know where things are at. Being honest and being vulnerable with people goes a long way in this economy. When people are going through stuff like this, they want to be able to identify with other people. It means a lot. So calling out the clients or whoever else it is and having that conversation of how you're doing, and then you could, again, I would start with, how are you? How's your family? Is everything okay? Is there anything I can help with? Okay. And that's all. That's the main reason that I'm calling. That's really what I do. By the way, one of the reasons that they wanted me to let you know is that they're going to be coming out with new or something like that. I may not even do that in the first phone call, to be honest with you. What I would do is just have a phone call that shows you care in the first one. That's it. Just call them to show you care, and that's it. And let them feel like, wow, this is really nice that you called me. And so you tell you what, I'm going to check in with you again next week. I want to make sure everything's okay. I'm calling everybody that are my clients and I'm friends with. I just want to make sure everybody's okay right now. Then all of a sudden, when you get into more conversations, the conversation will naturally go to business and where things are at. Ask about them, ask about their business or their husband or wife's business or significant other, whatever it might be. Have those conversations. Don't go right to business. Go to show that you care first. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to look for other questions. Hey, Neri, how are you, brother? Good to see you, man. Well, I don't see any other questions right now, and I don't want to keep you too long. I told you it'd be no longer than an hour. We're at 52 minutes right now. Look, everybody, here's what it comes down to. For non-BNI members that are here, get focused on your business. Get focused on the strategies you can go put in place to go forward. If you've never been to a BNI chapter, I would highly recommend going to one now because they're all virtual. You don't even have to leave your home. You can go there and see what it's about. There's no big deal about it in terms of attending, but you can have a network of people that are going to look to help to grow your business. So I'm not trying to do this as a BNI pitch. I'm really not. But if you haven't been to BNI, I would highly recommend virtually visiting a chapter and just getting to see what they're doing. For BNI members, look, guys, no member left behind. We're here to help every single member, every person. I want you to help you put strategies and implementation plans in place so you're in a place to come out of this in 90 days. If your business is one of those businesses that there's no way you're doing business in the next 90 days, right? That there's no way you're going to be able to sell anything or very little of anything, right? It doesn't mean the world's over. It means now's the time to educate, train yourself, and put things in place to come out on the other end, right? Because you might as well focus on that because, you know, there's nothing else to really focus on. For BNI directors that are here, take this information, use it for your own businesses, okay? But go help members with this. If that means doing your own sessions, if that means being the guest speaker at the chapter, if that means doing your own virtual webinars, whatever else it is, coaching, group to ones, go out there and work with them. Let's let our members see that we're here to help them, okay? In my opinion, members or the majority of members should not be focused on BNI transactions right now, on business transactions right now, because a lot of them aren't going to get transactions. It's going to be very depressing. But if they can get referral relationships, if they can get referral partners, if they can get strategic alliances, now they're laying a foundation to come out of this strong on the other side. If you have any other questions that, any other questions that I can help you with on outside of this, feel free to email me at frank@bnihv.com. Again, I'm going to try and do this every single week now. We're going to have a series going on. I figure we're going to do it every Tuesday at 3 o'clock unless something changes in my calendar. I'll make sure I email you about that again. But thank you so much for being here, everybody. Again, this should be up on Facebook in probably just a few minutes that you can watch it again. Share it with anybody that you like and go from there. Thank you so much, everybody. Good luck, and I hope things go well. I hope you got some great value out of this. Truly appreciate it. Take care.